Hi, I'm Kim Davies. I'm the PR manager at Spella Metcalfe, and I'm the one who writes all the awards applications for our projects. Been doing it for about 5 years. There's a lot I've learned along the way, so I just thought I would share some sort of hints and tips with you about how we approach our awards. So I've got some written down. The first thing to think about, and is something that people don't always, is whether your project actually stands out. It's really easy to get excited about different projects, different awards, but it's got to be able to stand up against other people who will get shortlisted. And sometimes you can end up putting in something that actually you haven't got enough evidence for. There's not that much going on, and it takes a lot of time to write an awards application. It may not be worth your while. Conversely, it's really good just to get shortlisted. So they don't announce awards for at least a couple of months normally after the shortlisting. So you'll get a good enough time out of that period to talk about your award being shortlisted, how it's up against some of the best in its category. So it is worthwhile doing it, even if you're not going to win. The next thing to think about is when you actually come to the awards itself, you'll have a set of questions, probably more than one. Make sure you answer that question. It sounds really obvious, but just keep going back. Whenever you're talking about your different section, keep going back to that answer, because when the judge goes through your application, they're literally looking for points to tick off. If you can imagine how many applications they have to read, if they can't match up what you've written with what's in the question, you'll just get a big cross. So it may be great, but if it's not relevant, it's probably not worth putting in. The next thing to think about is being factually accurate. So statistics are a really good way of showing that. Make sure that you're being quite succinct as well. So it's really easy to waffle, to go off and write an essay when actually that's not required. What I tend to do when I approach an award is do bullet points. For every single question, I will do bullet points. I will answer the question, write the bullet points, and then if I have some extra word count, you can then go back and start to add a bit more detail, a bit more colour. But literally they are just looking for those key points, so don't be afraid to approach it like that and then come back to it afterwards. Saying that, don't go over the word count. It's really easy to do it, and it's really hard to edit it afterwards. But remember that there's lots of awards in there, lots of applications, so if your award goes massively over, they'll probably just put it to one side, to be honest, and they won't have the time to read everything. The next thing to think about is, be real and be passionate. So with Spella Metcalfe, and certainly with the Masters House, it was such an incredible project. The whole project team really was a part of that, and I'm sure Matt and Ed have sort of said that in their presentation. And that really comes across when I speak to them, and that's what I want to get across to the judges. It's not just a great project, it was a great project team. We were really involved, everyone's learnt a lot, and it still forms quite a lot of people's lives at Spella Metcalfe, certainly. When it comes to the evidence side of it, make sure you have some. So start doing things like KPIs, measuring things. It might be carbon footprint monitoring, it could be energy monitoring, it could be local press cuttings, or photographs of social value events that you're hosting or school visits. All these things can add up to stuff that you can put into your application. When you come to evidence, make sure you label things clearly. So you might have saved it as Z-24EFR. I don't know what that is. So if that's actually an energy report, please just write energy report. It makes it easier for the judges. And then finally, probably the most important is before and after photos. So if you can show obviously what you had before and the incredible work that you might have done to get to where you are, the judge can instantly see that, and then they will probably go on to read your submission. They will most likely look at your photos first. So if you can afford it, invest in some professional photography for your project, and show them, what you're really trying to sell. And that's about it, I think.